Greetings again, everybody. I think this is session 5 with me and my room of some of the stuff I've been collecting for years. I think last time I was talking about marionettes, puppetry, my hang up on puppetry since I was a little kid. And I used to make a lot of these things. I didn't make this one, but I made marionettes. And then right after that, I became aware of stop motion. Or in that same period, I was aware of stop motion. George Pal was a Hungarian puppet animator, and he was doing a series called The Puppetoons. And the one that I can remember seeing in the theater was called Tubby the Tuba. It was about a little tuba. It was like incredible, and I flipped out. I didn't know what the hell happened because it's realistic, it's not animated drawings, and I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know what it was, and then gradually, by deductive reasoning or reading a couple of books in the library, Tim and I, my brother and I used to hang out in the library all the time, we became obsessed with it. It was called stop motion animation, and that's what King Kong was. Willis O'Brien made the puppet. He was, I think, 18 inches tall in the original film. And with that, here's a model that a friend gave me. Not as sophisticated as the puppet, but what that meant was stop motion meant that you moved it a slight movement, you clicked your camera frame. You move it a slight movement, you click the picture. You move it a slight movement, you click the picture. Now, that was all got to happen in a certain amount of time. If you planned your action to go from here to here in, say, a half a second, well, 24 frames a second screen time means 12 pictures. And that has to be moving realistically. Anyway, O'Brien was the genius. And he had a hang up on boxing. So you can see it in the film when you see Kong. He's boxing with the dinosaur, more or less, which is kind of cool. And then I think the next realization was the work of Ray Harryhausen. Here, I met him finally in San Diego Comic-Con because with my brother, I did the Clash of the Titans poster for his last film, and we were signing the poster together. And his work, he worked with Willis O'Brien, on Mighty Joe Young, again, a puppet ape, gorilla, whatever he is. And I got hung up on all these films. There's Jason and the Argonauts. There's Seven's Voyage of Sinbad, I think was his first one. And so this was a great period. So then my brother and I started to construct a Tyrannosaurus. And we're figuring out how to build it. And we got ball joints and started to embed them into this wood. We were carving wood, and we were going to just paint it with latex eventually. We never got all the way to that point, but it was 3/4 done. Kind of like taking off from Ray Harryhausen's Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, which was another stop motion creature, which again, I loved. I still love him. And I finally got to meet Mr. Pal, George Pal, because he went on to do Destination Moon. He came from Hungary, during the Nazi era, and he started doing puppetoons here, and then he moved into science fiction. He was the first guy to really take it on very seriously in Hollywood, because the first one, Destination Moon, was in Technicolor, big budget, and then he did When Worlds Collide, and then I think the masterpiece was War of the Worlds, and I think 52, something like that, and then A Time Machine. So I got to meet him finally. And in Hollywood, I was trying to get some films off the ground, and I got to meet him. And so for me, this whole world has been one of expressing imagination. And I always loved the imitation of life aspect with animation, and then with this stop motion stuff. And I got to do a few commercials when I was working in Detroit at an animation company when I first started my career. And I did several stop motion animated films, commercials for gasoline, a local gasoline. So anyway, that's another part of my series. Hallelujah to stop motion.